And I remember waking up in the middle of the night, and there was this little girl in the corner of my room.
Oh.
I was probably like 17, 18 by then.
And during that time, I remember just like laying in bed and just seeing it looked like a black sun. Like it was this like black mass with squiggly lines, and it just went "Meow" on my ceiling. And I was like, okay,
Cool. You're like, cool.
Mercury's in retrograde, so like, I can't make any decisions this month. And I'm like, okay,
Do you like the idea of if you could be a vampire, would you?
I would not personally.
I'm quite the opposite.
Okay.
I would be like, let's go, let's go. I get to stay like this forever. Or mind you, I probably like want to be a little younger, a little more fit, a little more something. But
21 forever.
yeah.
Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Paranormal Horror Club and welcome to Spooky Gossip. Today I have my actual cousin now. Yeah, we're literally family. We've never met, but that's okay, eventually. I'm Miranda Santillan. For those of you who are new, we just love to talk all things paranormal here. So I'm going to let my guest introduce herself and tell the people who you are and, whatever you want to share.
Hey. So first of all, thank you for saying the last name right. It's been said a million ways, so I appreciate that. So my name is Karen Caracappa. I was a Santillan, but then I got married. I've been married for almost 20 years. Um, I don't know. It's been a journey. It'll be 20 years on April 1st.
Oh.
Um, I live in Northern California and I love it here. I have two kids. My son is 18 and my daughter's 16, and she is my bestie. Let me tell you, that girl, we're like this. Um, yeah, and I'm just happy to be here. My gosh. I love talking about all this spooky thing, so let's go with it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I love that. When we were talking about kind of topics and different things, right off the bat, you said you definitely had like a lot of weird, crazy personal experiences. So let's
Legit.
open it up. Tell the people about just whatever crazy personal experiences you've had on the paranormal spectrum, and let's talk about it.
Um, it's kind of crazy because when I was younger and we lived on this huge property, my cousins, my uncles, all of us lived on this pretty big property where there was two houses.
Mm.
Um, and we lived in the front part of the house. And mind you, like I'm just a very connected person. Like I
Mm.
legit can feel energies. I can feel like bad energies from like people. I'm just a very intuitive person. And so I remember when I was little, and I can't remember like how little I was, but like coming and moving into this house, like immediately I was like, holy moly, something is crazy. But then, you're little, you're just like scared of the dark. You're scared of everything, right? So I'm just like, "Ah, okay, whatever." So as time went by, I legit would hear noises. It started with noises. Then I remember just being in bed and just laying there, and then like I could feel like a presence. Like I could feel something moving in my room, even if I couldn't hear it. It was so crazy. So then move forward to like, I don't remember where I was going, but I was like at my kitchen table and I'm standing there. And again, I couldn't hear it, but I could feel something moving behind me. And it was just like the creepiest thing. Miranda, when I tell you, people did not believe me. This mofo grabbed me right here on my shoulder. Oh, hell no! I remember it like it was just like it just happened. It was so crazy. And I remember just, mind you, by then I was probably like 13, 14, 15, somewhere in between there. So I knew what was going on. Like I really could be like, oh my God. And I remember just turning around and just being like, and I just ran out of the house. I just ran out of the house. I was like,
Oh, fudge.
Only I didn't say fudge.
what just happened? And it took me a long time to really like, I had a hard time being in that house after that.
Yeah.
And then I would hear noises, and then I couldn't sleep. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Ugh.
I know, I know, and it sounds so weird. It sounds so crazy because, like, I look back and I'm like, dang, like that really happened. And like, I told my mom, and my mom is a believer, so she's in there saging the house and doing, you know what I mean, putting the salt at the door, like, all these things. But it's just, thankfully, we moved,
Good.
and then and then we moved into another house where later I my parents let us choose our room, and I didn't even have my bed set up yet, girl. And I'm sleeping on the floor on my mattress, and I remember waking up in the middle of the night, and there was this little girl in the corner of my room.
Oh.
I was probably like 17, 18 by then. And I, by then, I'm like seasoned. And I'm like, I looked at her and I said, go away. And I remember just going back to sleep, and I never saw her again.
Wow.
But then my brother saw her a week ago, so I knew it wasn't crazy. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, when the same family or the same house when two people see the same thing, it's like, okay,
It's
how
like,
does that work?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I just, but like now, like you all used to scare me,
Mm.
and like now it doesn't. Like obviously, like it would still startle anyone, you know what I mean? But like now I really do feel like I'm just kind of like, okay, I feel like I know how to handle this. Like I'm not fully scared of it anymore, if that makes any sense. You
Yeah.
know?
Do you
Yeah.
still like in the last couple years, maybe the last 5 years, like as an adult now, do you notice like it's still super present, or is it more like maybe because you're not really scared of it, you're not paying attention to it, like you don't really see as much, or like where are you at now?
Now I'm not so scared of it. Now I'm very just like I'll walk in, to this house just we moved in a year ago, and I literally I'll just walk into a house and I'm kind of like, okay, everything's good here. And then once I kind of go, okay, everything's good here, I don't think I'm like looking for it. I don't think I'm, you know what I mean? Um, I'm just a lot more calm about it now. When I was younger, I feel like I didn't know how to process it. So my mind's just like running, you know what I mean? And then having those experiences is just kind of, I guess I'm seasoned. Like I know how to handle it now, you know?
Yeah, you're like in your mature phase of what's the
Totally.
word? Mediumship, to where you're
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like on
Totally.
those TV shows, like at first, the medium or whatever, like Ghost Whisperer back in the day. You're
Right,
like,
right,
oh my God, this is all too much. This is terrifying. And then eventually they get to a point where they're like, what do you want? Like, what? Okay, tell me
right.
the story. Come on, hurry up. Like they get to
Right.
the point where they're just like, whatever. Yes, I see you. I see you. What do you
Yeah.
want?
And then you just go, okay, have a nice day, move along, you know?
I got shit to do. Okay,
No, legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's essentially been my little experiences that I've had. I just feel like I'm actually I like that I had those experiences. I don't know why, but like I find it just so interesting. Like I fully believe, well, are there ghosts maybe walking around your house at all times? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not, but I definitely believe that there is more than what we think is out there for sure.
Oh yeah, and that makes me think about because I'm the same way. It's weird for me. I forget what all the clairs are. I'm not one that sees with my eyes, but I'm one that feels like instantly feels emotions. And I
Mhm.
see pictures in my head, and sometimes I hear stuff. So I've never seen like actual manifestations physically other than black masses. I guess I have seen a black mass. When I was going through a really hard time, I feel like it was more of a poltergeist type of situation where like we were like getting evicted when I was in like high school. Like there was alcoholic stuff going on in the family. Like there was so much trauma and stress. I was like failing all my classes, like almost not going to graduate high school. Like
Mhm.
everything was just. And during that time, I remember just like laying in bed and just seeing it looked like a black sun. Like it was this like black mass with squiggly lines, and it just went "Meow" on my ceiling. And I was like, okay,
Cool. You're like, cool. Cool. What is this?
dude, that's the only thing I've ever remembered like I saw with my eyes.
It's almost like, how do you process that, right? When you see something, you're like, your mind doesn't know how to process it in the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just was strange. I just chalked it up to just like maybe just a manifestation of just negative energy and just bad vibes. But
I can totally see that. Totally. Yeah.
yeah, I don't see stuff with my eyes, but I definitely will walk into a space like you said and like instantly be like, nope, or oh,
Hmm.
this is nice,
Yeah.
or just neutral, like no bad vibes, not really like anything coming to mind. But yeah, are you like that with people too? Like can you like are you usually right about when people rub you the wrong way? Or is it just like you think that this is a question like that I ask myself, I'm like, am I just being judgy? Am I just being or like, do I just not
That's it.
like them because I'm like, ugh, they're from here or whatever? Or is it
Right.
legitimately like something's weird with you and I can't put my finger on it? Like, and have you been right about people?
Yeah. Well, okay. So I want to say yes. But I feel like it's mainly, I honestly feel like sometimes people that have maybe a lot of trauma or a lot of gone through a lot of things, you kind of feel whether it's bad energy or maybe you just feel they're hurt. I don't know. I don't know. I have felt that with people, and then you can tell they're just angry. I don't. It's like you said. Am I being just judgy, or can you feel their energy is just not good? And so I'm trying to like learn. Like okay, like learn about the person, you know what I mean? But I have actually been around people where you're like, whoa, dude, like you have some demons, you know what I'm saying? And that it immediately what before I even start judging or anything, I'm just like, let me remove myself from this. I don't sorry, but like in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to be your friend. I'm cool. I'm gonna go this way. You know what I'm saying? But I've definitely have had those experiences where I'm like, yeah, and then later you're like, dude, that guy was not okay.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and I'm like, thank God I could feel that. Like, thank God I could feel it because my intuition was saying no. And I'm like, let me go this way. But yes, definitely. Yeah.
Same here. I mean, I've noticed that now that I'm older, I've seen that there are definitely people who I won't say I misjudged, but I think like I've had experiences where I was totally right.
Mhm.
People even in I'm not gonna like say anything to reveal who these people are, but people who have been very close to me, let's just say, for most of my life, there have been a few that I always felt weird around, but I couldn't like put my finger on it. Like it wasn't like they were mean to me or they never did anything like weird to me, but I just
Right.
felt weird around them. And then
Mhm.
found out later that they had some weird stuff, like were like creepy um or had some type of secret or some like weird thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Have
Over
some type of secret is for sure. I won't reveal either who I've had that with, but it was someone close to me that later, even as an adult, I looked back and I was like, yeah, I'll never be around you ever again. Even if I see you, like I can't because now I know and I was right. Even as a little girl, I was like, oh, I was right.
That secret thing for sure, like, because I've been right about those people, and then I've had a few people, like even just in family or friend circle, that same thing. Like I felt kind of weird, like there for some reason I'm like I kind of don't like you, and it's not. and there's not necessarily a reason. So I'm like, it's not a logical, like, oh, you're kind of like rude or,
Or
like
they did something to you, like you just feel it.
you feel it. And but I've realized with a few people, like once I got to know them a little bit more, I found that those people, like you said, one in particular had a pretty, like had addiction and a pretty traumatic past.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, okay, I think that I'm feeling this vibe of this, like, still working through this drama and like mental health stuff that
Mhm.
then I kind of feel like a like I'm like, oh, this poor guy is actually really nice. It's just like, you
They
know,
just have a lot, they have a lot of trauma and they're angry inside.
like a
And
dark cloud.
yes, and you kind of feel it, even if they don't mean to project it that way, you just feel it and it sucks because like they push people away without even knowing. You know what I'm saying? And that sucks. That sucks.
Yes. I'm trying to be a little bit more open-minded and not like you can still be wary of people, like if not fearful but wary if you're feeling that vibe of like something's off, just kind of have a boundary up that's not like a wall to where you don't trust them or you won't like, allow them to get to know you, but just a little bit of like a caution sign that hey, maybe this person just has some stuff going on and like I am not a therapist, so I'm not really here to like unload and help you with your stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I've always like even when I was younger, I was always like I was over sheltered. My parents wouldn't let me go anywhere. And it was simply because I was a girl and they were like, someone's gonna rape you, someone's gonna da da da, someone's gonna give you a drug, da 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 da. So, but mind you, I've never been like a full-on drinker, crazy party girl when I was younger. I never did drugs, like I never did anything. I genuinely just wanted to go hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
But so when I snuck out, I was always very like, if I would go somewhere with my friends, if my gut said this doesn't feel right, I would literally remove myself immediately. I've always gone with my gut. And even if like nothing happened and they were like, you were tripping, girl, like what the are you talking about? We had so much fun. Cool. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it made me feel, and I removed myself.
That's
Call
good.
me boring, but hey, I don't care. I'm out. If it didn't feel right, it didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying?
That's so true. And like I definitely same. Like I definitely did some very stupid things still that I'm like, what the like I was talking in one of my other podcasts for music stuff, I was telling my friend that when I first started trying to find like ways to make money doing music so I can get out of, my 9 to 5,
Hmm.
I would go on Craigslist because Craigslist was the big thing,
Yeah.
back
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
and so I would just look up singer, songwriter every single day. And I've found a lot of posts for like, because I was in LA, so there's a lot of studios where they needed singers to just do sessions.
Okay.
I'd see postings. I went to almost all of them by myself.
Why do you do this? You're so stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid! Oh, and let's not forget, you're so stupid!
Oh, see, that's one thing I'm till this day, I'm like, I ain't going nowhere by myself.
Why? I think back and I'm like, I mean, because, I would communicate with them and they sounded like a normal person. Like, I didn't, but I think it was because I didn't feel any weird vibes. And I'm not telling anybody that, like, oh, if it feels okay, then go meet a
No,
stranger
no, no.
on the internet.
Right.
But I think back then it was because, again, I was like, okay, this feels okay. Like, I don't feel bad about this. And I'm talking
Sure.
to the person, like, on the phone or via email or whatever. Still a terrible decision. But, but there were so many times where I would just, like, kind of vibe checked and I was like, no, this feels okay. And I would go. But then, yeah, the second, if somebody, if their energy when I met them was, like, weird or, especially being, like, a woman in that industry,
Sure, sure.
if they, especially now I don't, back then I was a little bit more like, oh, they're flirting with me, like, oh my God, it makes me feel so hot, and now I'm like, I ain't got time for
Totally.
that shit. Not just because I'm a married woman, but also because I'm like, I'm too old for this shit. Like, I'm not here to mix business and pleasure. I feel like total side conversation, but like, regardless of what anybody watching this believes, I'm not like saying that everyone should believe in spirituality, but like, I
Totally.
feel like the universe really or God really was like, this dream you have of like being a pop star when I was younger, you're too dumb because you say you want a happy life and a healthy, safe life too. You
Mhm.
you're not smart enough right now to have that lifestyle and be safe.
Mm,
Like, I think I
okay.
would have just been like, okay, and signed whatever, and maybe not the extreme stuff. Like, I don't think I would have ever become a drug addict or anything like that,
Sure.
but I probably would have said yes to like anything, back
Just to get in in whatever in the club, just to get in good with somebody. I get that.
So I think I was protected by that not working out like I wanted it to, or
Mhm.
but
I hear that because I wanted to be a model so bad. I even went to a modeling school for 4 years. Yeah,
yeah.
I that was like my dream was to be a model. And if my parents would have been like, run the world free, I would have been like, where do you need me to be? I would have been at every casting call, every da 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 da, and probably took pictures that, like, mind you, I would never take naked pictures, but because I was smarter than that, I knew that eventually those would be out.
Right.
But I would have been like everywhere,
Yeah.
and my brain would have just been like, you need to make it. I will do whatever to make it. It's just your brain needs to develop and realize that something could happen if you don't watch yourself. So I hear that.
I feel like now it makes me wonder, like, on back onto the like this works back onto the topic of like vibe checking and gut feelings. Like,
Yes.
and you don't have to be religious or spiritual, it has nothing to do
No,
with that. But
no, totally.
when you're super tapped in and like connected, and when you're sensitive, medium, whatever it is, I almost feel like you're protected from extreme situations because you just aren't vibrating with that, vibrating being just vibing with, you're not like vibing with the lower level of dangerous situations or again,
Right.
doesn't mean you don't use logic, but like I kind of feel like maybe that's why we're protected in a way. Not because we're better than anyone else or we're blessed
No,
or not, but just because like we're just not vibrating on that lower level, maybe. I don't know.
it's no, that's true. That is exactly, I think, what it is now. We're a lot more in tuned, and we can kind of go into a situation and go, yeah, yes or no, and then we're out. So I
It's
hear
just
that.
not gonna happen to me because not because I'm like, oh, I'm so high vibrational, but just because like,
Totally.
you can't hurt me. You know what I mean? Because
Totally.
I'm protected kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I'm evolving every day, trying to figure life out, being put in situations, and then I go, okay, yeah, this is not for me.
Yeah. I
You
love
know?
that.
Yeah.
Love the vibe stuff. I wonder, I think the other thing that came to mind that I was like, I really want to ask somebody about this is like, I know you've probably watched a lot of paranormal stuff over the years, like whether it's
Yeah.
movies or what do you think in terms of, and we can make it broad, like not just like ghost stuff, but like maybe urban legend stuff, like we're talking Bigfoot, we're talking Loch Ness, alien stuff, like with all of the paranormal movies you've seen where it's like based on a true story.
Ooh, those are my favorite.
Yes, like like The Conjuring or The Fourth Kind is one I talked about in another movie. It's like an
Hmm.
alien abduction story.
Hmm.
What are things you feel like, yes, believe that, like I totally believe that that happened, and are there some things where you've seen like let's say on The Conjuring or whatever where you're like, that feels like it's very Hollywood.
There was a movie that like a ghost movie that I watched back in my days. I act like I'm like ancient. I feel like it sometimes. Back in my day, I watched The Haunting. Have you ever seen that?
I think so.
It's like a movie of like this a family later. I found out it's like a movie about a family in this huge mansion. Okay, and he built it for his wife and like all their kids and everything. And in the movie later, you find out that this girl kept being like drawn into this house and all these things, and found out that that was her uncle.
Oh,
And yeah, and he was basically like haunting the mansion. And it was a really good story because she ended up freeing all the kids' souls and all these things. But that's where they kind of lost me a little bit because like that movie, I was like, oh my God, and it scared the shit at me. But like I could see how like maybe a little bit that could be true where you're like, okay, like I didn't know I had a an uncle and he loved kids, but he's haunting this house, so we feel like he's still here type shit. And then all of a sudden like it turned real. Like it took a turn where you're like, that doesn't seem real. Like later, like she got a phone call about the house and turned out to be like he called her from like the spirit, and you're like,
Uh,
you killed it for me. Like, can you just leave it at to like a truer story where like you find out it's your uncle and you feel a spirit there still. Like it just kind of, I don't know, silly shit like that. I'm like, can we just leave it alone? Like, can we just like leave it to where it's more true, if that makes sense? Like, I don't know. When it comes to like ghost stories, like I love a good ghost story, but I don't like it when it gets weird.
yeah.
Like the whole doll thing to me doesn't sit right with me for some reason. I'm like, really? Why would, in my brain, I'm like, why would a ghost or a spirit like attach itself to something?
I feel that.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like the doll thing or Chucky. Like it's so stupid to me. I just can't. I used to watch Chucky when I was young and I was like, not even I know this is so, you know what I'm saying? Like this is so lame.
Yeah, it was just entertainment.
Legit, just strictly entertainment.
Yeah.
Like I can't. For me, like more realistic stuff, like even just like when it comes to realistic things, like realistic situations that could happen. Like, did you ever see a movie what was it called? The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh my God.
Oh, that one was rough.
That one, I swear in my brain I could not get out of. And for some reason I was like, what if that really could happen? Like someone gave you directions somewhere, you listened, and now they sent you somewhere, you're gonna die. Does
Oh.
that make sense? Like to me, realistic situations are more scary.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Yeah,
Like,
no, that's why I made this channel because I was like, I love. At first, I was like, oh yeah, I love horror, but then I realized I'm like, no, 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 I love fantasy paranormal horror, fantasy or paranormal. So like
yes.
and real. I don't like slashy stabby horror because it's like, no, that shit really happens. Somebody could really like I pull over on the side of the road because my tire like pops and they're waiting to kill me. Like that's real life. Let's not.
No, legit. I just, even like situations where like you're out in the world right now and like someone will approach you, like your first reaction is to be like, stranger danger, like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So like movies like this, like The Hills Have Eyes, that really messed with my head. And I was like, I'm never going to the desert. Like I just cannot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of picky with my situations on movies. I enjoy a good movie where you're like, this is dumb, but it's like still entertaining.
Yeah.
But dude, no.
Yeah.
Real situations based on a true story. If my mind can imagine it, I'm like, that is so scary. So, so scary. Uh-uh.
I agree. I think definitely the more real it is, the more scary it is. I feel like out of everything I've seen, like there are maybe some stuff I'm just like not interested in, but I don't think it's not real. Like I'm not interested in like Bigfoot or Loch Ness or any of those, but it doesn't mean I don't think it's real. I'm just like, meh, don't really care.
Mhm.
Um, I think for me, I totally believe in, seeing things, hearing things, being able to interact with things that are either in a parallel universe or whatever it may be. I believe in dark forces. Like I believe that people
Mhm.
do see demons or do have experiences, but the way I see it is like I don't believe that I think my like I don't see this as truth for me is when I see a lot of the possession movies or whatever where it's like, oh, they
Yeah.
played with the Ouija board and then they unlocked a demon. I'm like, I don't think that's how it works. And I know a lot of people disagree. They say, oh, like you're opening a portal. personally, I don't think that if you are not like openly inviting something like with the intention of wanting darkness, or you're not on the other side, maybe like when I said I saw that black sun, I was in a state of like depression and stress and just negativity. I think if you're in that state, then you can attract things. But if you're just like
Totally.
a normal person and you're like, ooh, haha, Ouija board, and then it's like now I'm possessed, I'm like, that seems a little bit ridiculous. Like,
I agree. Like, have you ever seen those movies? I forget the names, but where they're like possessed and you have to do an exorcism, and
yeah,
then she's like, "Eh," and you're just like, bro,
fun
that's
to watch.
I mean, it's very fun to watch, and her head spins around, and her face turns different. While I do believe that there are good spirits and bad spirits, good energy, bad energy, all of those things, there is a point where I'm like, could really somebody be possessed in that way where you hear a different voice coming, or are they just a little crazy? Like, do you just go, I don't know. I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never experienced it. I don't know anyone who's ever seen that or experienced that. So it's hard for my brain to wrap itself around all of that.
Yeah.
I find it a little, so I agree. It's just, I don't know. It's just hard to really, could that be true? I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's so much. I believe, like I said, I believe that the people going through it, I believe that they are seeing or hearing it.
Sure.
But what one person's truth is not the world's truth. So in other words, it's like they're seeing it or hearing it because maybe it's, and it always happens. It usually happens. All of these stories, especially based on a true story, are always very, very devout, like Catholics. No shade to the Catholics out there, but
Oh,
their belief and study of like demons and these things, I feel like it's not the, oh, they're imagining it, but it's like when you come from this belief system of this shit is like really happening. If I'm not careful, a demon's gonna get me. It's like I feel like then if you're in a situation where there's some wild energy going on, you and I will probably just be like, ooh, this doesn't really feel good. I'm gonna sage the house because I'm not fing with this.
yes.
Somebody who's already in this lowered state of fear or whatever, it's like they can just like perpetuate it and make it turn
Huh?
into this thing. They're not faking it or anything, but it's just like they experience it in this extreme way. And I think they're like literally manifesting it unintentionally, maybe. I don't know.
I think so too. I feel like it's almost like when you tell yourself something over and over and over and over, and you really hone in on it, and you like are just so into it. Like, I truly believe that if you do that with anything, even like in your own health, your brain will start to believe that that's what it is, and you will start to feel it, and you will start to like hear it. It's just like, I mean, really though, like for me, I believe, like that maybe that's what they are doing is just like, you know, and it's just not just Christian Catholic, it's like anything spiritual.
Sure.
If you are just sitting there, just like, gotta keep the demons away,
Yeah.
that's all you're gonna fixate on, like, right? I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, but like,
No, I agree because even with the like I'm open to everything. I'm like not one thing, so I'm just like
sure.
a in tune person and I
Hmm.
I've dabbled in many things, but even like I don't know if you've ever been a fan of tarot readers, but um even when
Hmm.
I sometimes in astrology like it's
Yes.
I dabble, I'm not like all in, but even with that you hear people like, "Well, Mercury's in retrograde, so like, I can't make any decisions this month." And I'm like, "Okay, like that's I
Relax.
I understand planetary alignments, movements, and energy, sure, but like when you take it to the extreme of like, I can't leave my house because it's retrograde, or like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm being an asshole. It's just because Saturn is here. I'm like, you can't
You're
use
just
that.
you really though, like you cannot. Can you stop? Is it are you PMSing? Because maybe that's what it is. See, like I just
The
feel like
hormones.
no, really though. I will say though, one thing that I can attest to is anytime there is a full moon, my
Mm.
husband is up. Like, I'm
Is he
not
gonna
even
watch this?
kidding. No, I'm legit not even joking. Like, I I have literally proved it. I have watched him go about life, And then I'll read or I'll see something like, oh, full moon tonight. And then I won't say anything. And I've literally observed him. And then I'm just like, oh, it's true. Like it affects his like mood and he's grumpy and he's kind of like, and it's just for that day. And like,
Hmm.
it's even been a day where it's like we're all just chilling. It's not like a stressful work day. Like I've really proved the concept and that is real. Let me tell you, at least for us.
A werewolf and you just don't know it.
Or that. Wouldn't that be some
He's been a werewolf all this fucking time and you just
shit? And I didn't even know it. I mean, at least there'd be a reasoning for it.
yeah. Yeah, that's something you could blame it on, but no, I see I get what you're saying and that definitely I've definitely noticed times where and this brings the question like are you just affirming something that you hear and it's like confirmation bias or is it real? Like there have been so many times where just for fun, like a tarot reading came up on YouTube. I'm like, oh, I want to watch this. I watch it or whatever. And they'll say something that maybe at the time, like, for example, a couple years ago, I kept getting these same messages from all these readers about like, oh, you're like really meant to, I see you like in this community of like other artists, like really collaborating about, and I was like, I had no interest in having any type of artist community. I'm very like lone wolf when it comes to like
Sure,
creative stuff.
sure.
I'm like, I don't want a team. I don't need a team. I've done that before. I'm not interested. Like for
Right.
years, I was like, no thanks. And then this year, all of a sudden, I have had this like urge to like start these podcasts, start collaborating with friends. I joined the voice actor studio in Las Vegas. Like it's like a community. And it's like everything that so much of
You're
what
like,
you said, I'm like, oh shit.
but was that just you attracting it because you kind of know where you want to head in life, so you're manifesting, and so now you're who's to say?
Who's to say? It's so weird, but I do know, I wonder if you've ever had these experiences where I talked about it in the last video, but I guess you can call it kind of premonitions, like where either you had a dream or you just had like a movie in your head of something random like happening.
Like deja vu almost?
Yeah, and not even something you've been like thinking about, but like you either have for me, it's always a dream of something happening and then happens exactly like I dreamed it.
Yes, that's happened to me. I've had dreams of, or even just like I said, deja vu, where I'm like I just did it, and then I'm like, oh, I've seen this before. I have seen this before, and I don't know whether to call it a dream or deja vu or something, but that has happened to me so many times in my life. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. You know what I've also had? I've had, and it's only happened to me twice, and unfortunately, these people are gone. They have come to me in my dreams. I know my husband's brother was killed a while ago, and when he first died, on that same week, I remember having a dream, and he literally came to me and was like screaming, Joe, like that's my husband's name. And I woke up like, holy crap. And I didn't know how to tell my husband because my husband is very like, there's no such thing as ghost. There's
Uh,
no such thing as none of that. They can't connect with you. They like he is like, if
yeah.
I'm like, babe, there's a ghost in here or I feel bad spirit,
Mm.
he'll walk in the room and be like, what's up, ghost? What's up? Want to fight? Like he's just like not into it. So I had to tell him, and for a minute he was like, are you sure? And I was like, that was him. I know it was him. I could see his face. And then it happened again um, with a friend of ours who died. It was, do you know Jason? My
Um,
sister's, I mean, you would only know because my brother might have told you. Um, Jason was my sister's baby daddy, and he was killed.
oh,
And well, at least we think he was killed. And I saw him in my dreams.
wow.
Isn't that crazy? So I find it hard to believe, and maybe I'm just dreaming about them. I don't know. But those are things that I find it hard to believe that there's not something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild. That's one thing that I haven't had and I've asked for. There's two
Mhm.
things I've asked for and have not received. Number one, I have asked to have extraterrestrial communication. Not once have I had the experience, but everyone around me has seen ships, has had weird dreams. I don't get shit. I'm like, dude, but then again, this is the same thing with like seeing people in my dreams, like communicating. When I
Yeah,
really think about it, I think I'm not. I say I want it, but emotionally, there's a fear there that I'm not letting go of. Like I'm
I
actually
could never.
scared.
I
So,
could never. I legit could never. When I was little, there in Ukaipa, there used to be like this canyon you could go through to get to Moreno Valley. I don't know if you know where that's at.
San Mateo? Or
I
was
don't
it
know where it
older?
was. It was like at the end of Ukaipa.
Mhm.
And instead of getting on the freeway to take the freeway to get to Moreno Valley, there used to be like this canyon. You could
Oh,
take
yeah.
back roads and all that shit. Well, one day my dad was driving. This was when my parents were separated, and we were going to his house. He would take me and my brother, and we would go to his house on the weekends. And on our way, I'm sitting there. It was nighttime. I look over, and when I tell you I saw a UFO, my mind couldn't process it again. My mind was like, and it literally was like, choo, 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 and it just left. And I was like, what the did I just see? See then I must have been like really little. I think I was probably like 10. But I
Wow.
know what I saw. I saw it. And I told people and they were like, look at this little girl just talking shit. You know what I mean? But God, I've had so many, mind you though, I was so scared. My heart was thumping. I'm my dad literally is like, oh my God, if I could see an alien and they could take me, I'd let them. I'm like, excuse me, sir, sir, no. Like what? I'm terrified. I
Yeah,
do believe that there is something outside of this world. I find it hard to believe that we are the only intelligent life form. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like
intelligent.
intelligent, some more than others, but uh-uh.
Yeah.
No, I'm so afraid of that. I'm like, what if they really are coming for us? I don't know. Are
Yeah.
they nice? Are they mean? Are they? I
I
don't know. I don't want to find out.
I don't either, but yeah, I'm gonna clarify. I would like to see things, but I'm not interested in being taken or scared, scared shitless. I would just like to see some cool ships or something. Like that would be sick. And everyone around me, my mom, your cousin, my husband, he's seen stuff. He's like
Yeah,
literally seen ships and shit. I'm like, what the f what about me? Like, I
yeah,
want to see a ship, and I would love to dream about a loved one. I've at like when my grandpa passed away for years, I was like, I'd love to have an experience with my grandpa. Like I'd love to like feel his presence or like and I just never have. And I think there must be some type of like emotional block that's like I want it, but
maybe,
you're like, but no, I actually don't. I'm actually scared
maybe.
or
I
I
think
can't
that's
handle it, you know?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like why my husband has a hard time believing. I genuinely believe he has like an emotional blockage to anything that is hard to believe. He's like, I can't deal. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. But here's something I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
What do you think of the idea of vampires? I'm obsessed.
Well, first of all, I am like most other girls, and
And I don't mean Twilight, okay? I
no, no,
mean
no.
like real vampires.
I will say, first of
For
all,
real.
I am like most girls. I love, for whatever reason, I love books,
The
shows.
idea.
I was a Vampire Diaries girl. I watched every single episode. And terrible, like drama, ridiculous.
Do you like the idea of if you could be a vampire, would you?
I would not personally, and the reason being is I don't know if I could say I fully believe, but I resonate with the idea of reincarnation. So to me, I'm like, if could never die unless somebody like, did whatever special way to kill me,
Sure,
I lived
sure.
forever, then I would never be able to experience the new levels of, I guess you could learn throughout your full lifetime lessons, but I think that I feel like there's a purpose to if reincarnation is real
Sure.
like coming back and having different experiences. So, and then
I like that.
you see
Okay.
all of your loved ones die. Like you see your kids die.
It would save so much death.
Yeah, and you just keep going. I wouldn't want that if it involved immortality, I wouldn't want it. Mm.
That's interesting. I'm quite the opposite.
Ah, okay.
I would be like, let's go, let's go. I get to stay like this forever. Oh, mind you, I probably like want to be a little younger, a little more fit, a little more something. But
21 forever.
yeah, let me just, how snatched can I get before I can stay like this? But ever since I was little, the movie that got me into that was Interview with the Vampire.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
Brad Pitt was beautiful and Snatched. He was beautiful forever. In my mind, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Oh my God, I totally would. I don't know why, but in my mind, while I agree with what you said, as far as like you would see a lot of death, you would see your kids die, you would see all these things happen in your life, you would also see the world change and evolve, and you would see things that even your grandkids never saw. I don't know. I like the idea of seeing, like, you look back from, I don't know, the early 1800s and how much the world has evolved.
Yeah.
I would like to see where everyone was always like, oh, there's going to be flying cars in the year 2000. Where, like, I would just like to see
What happened?
more.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would just like to see more. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to. You know what I mean? While it would be very sad to see all your loved ones
Yeah.
go and everything, for me, I don't know. Does that sound selfish? I don't know. I feel
No. No, I think it just depends on what you value to experience, and that's a very valid point. And then it also makes me think, every single movie or story about vampires, it's always that there's the vampires, the witches, and the werewolves. And sometimes they
witches.
hate each other, sometimes they love each other. So I'm gonna guess that out of the three, you would pick vampire out of the three.
Yes, I
Okay.
would. I definitely would.
Yeah.
Well, I find I love witches. Supposedly, my mom on her side has a couple of witches, like my aunts.
Okay.
Um, have There's a story that my aunt, when she was younger, um, there was a little boy missing, and they were like, "You need to go talk to so and so," and she helped them find the little boy. I know. So I'm like, but it was like through her witchy intuition and her everything. I don't know what she did. I don't know details, but I do know that. And I was like, oh, it's just real. Like, I don't know. What can you do? Love spells? I don't know.
Now, amortentia doesn't create actual love. That would be impossible. But it does cause a powerful infatuation or obsession. And for that reason, it is probably the most dangerous potion in this room.
Can you, voodoo dolls? That's a bit far-fetched for me, but does witches go hand in hand with intuition and bad vibes and I mean, I don't know, like like what we were talking about, you know what I'm saying?
I think so. I think I've gone back and forth. Like there was a time where I was like, when I watched the movie, sometimes I'm like, I don't know, like being a werewolf would be sick because you're like in a pack that's like a family and you're with the earth and you're like an animal. But then I'm like, nah,
You're so ugly.
I don't think I'd want to be like a beast. I would definitely want. Now, would I have wanted to date the werewolf? Hell yeah, I would
All
have.
day, all day.
Rugged, like, dirty, creature man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I would have chosen witch because my family, like on my mom's side, definitely a lot of like Wiccans and like very natural earthy. And I grew up with my mom listening, like I'd walk in, my mom would have incense burning, Nag Champa, yeah, burning in the house, Palo Santo, and then she would be playing like total like Enya new age music.
Imagine a world where time drifts slowly. A world where music carries you away. Experience pure moods, the perfect soundtrack for your way of life.
all.
Really?
Yeah, so I like grew up with that. Like my mom, my dad, super conservative Christian, and my mom, I don't know how the fuck or why the fuck they got together. Glad they did, but they're not together now. But yeah, she was like super new agey, and we had like all of those books about like natural magic, and so it's kind of like already in my genes a little bit. So
Okay.
if I had to pick, I'd say, and I'm like big into the manifestation. So I'm like, it kind of goes hand in hand, like when you talk about your words being powerful and like being
100%.
bring it into reality, I'm like, I could see being a witch, you know, and then I don't have to bite people. But then again, sometimes I want to bite people, you know what I mean? Because they're just so.
Yeah, because they annoyed you. I hear
Only
that.
really bad people though, like you know, like the perverts and like the really bad murderers of the world, like to be able to just like run really fast and just rip their head off, like that checks out.
Oh, 100%. That's like if you were a vampire, you're like, I'm not gonna hurt or eat the nice people. I'm gonna like go clear out you know, what do you call it? A prison real quick. Let me just go with all the, you know what I'm saying? Like there's just different ways I would do it. But I love the idea of living forever. I
That's
really do.
Well, now, like everybody, okay, anybody who's watching this, comment like what vampire, witch, or werewolf and why. Like, tell us why, or if there's another creature that you would that comes to mind that I'm not thinking of. You could say anything. You could say angel. I don't know. Whatever comes to mind. Other cryptids. Um, comment and let us know because now I'm like curious. I'm like, what do most people? It's like the Edward versus Jacob debate of when Twilight came out. You weren't were you a Twilight fan at all or no?
Actually was like I found it very cheesy and very like I sometimes could not handle their acting, but again, it's just the thought of being a vampire and seeing so many different lives and seeing so many different things and being alive. You could be like, I've been alive since 1605. Like I don't know. I mean, right?
So
I don't
cultured. You know, like the vampires are so cultured. I think
know
that's
proper.
yeah, that's what makes them like more attractive in that sense. They're very poetic, they're very cultured. So it's kind of like, ooh,
The way
you
they talk was always very like almost sensual. The way they would tell a story, like again in the interview of the vampire, he would talk and tell his story so like I don't know, like I just want to talk like that.
know. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I just yeah, I wish, but that's like saying mermaids are real, you know? Like
Where does the conversation that brings up another good point. I'm like, let's talk about that too. Like,
I could be a mermaid too.
where
Like
does the
I
line get
swear I
drawn?
could be a mermaid. Like I wish I could be a mermaid. I have a mermaid tattoo, a huge one on the side of my leg.
Yeah,
You know what it is? I love all things mythical.
yeah, me.
Dragons, mermaids, like I don't know, like ancient gods, like Medusa and like I love all those things. Like anything mythical, I'm like, "Oh my God, I wish I had a pet dragon." Like, can you imagine? Like all things like that. I love the idea of it.
I have been waiting for my Hogwarts letter for
Ah,
30 mother well, not 30.
magic.
Yeah, I would have not gotten it till 11, so not 32 years, but you know, I've been waiting for it for a long time and it still hasn't come and every time I'm like, "Damn it." Like did I just get left out like cuz I'm not magic? Like you know, I'm just not accepted. Like is it actually real and I'm just left out of it? Like there's like a little part of me that's like, "Damn it." You know, what
You're
about
what did they call those?
Muggle?
Muggle.
Mm.
Are
Yeah.
you a muggle? No, I don't know. You're like, I hope not.
So sad. Yeah.
Oh man, I hope I'm not. I would love. It's like superpowers,
Yeah.
you know?
Damn it.
I know. I'm like, did it skip me or like what's happening here? Because maybe it didn't though, because I am very in tuned. I am very like, I really, really, really do think I am. And now I sound like a psycho, but I've
No.
like told myself forever, and then like now I'm just crazy. But
No, you're not gonna get a you're crazy from me unless you start a cult or you
I'm
start
like, Miranda, join me.
I'm like, yeah, it is like, you know, you gotta cut off your friends and family and go live in the mountain. I'm like, okay,
That's a lot. That's a lot.
that or if you start telling me like, oh, I'm sorry, I just like can't talk because, you know, of where Jupiter is, then I'm gonna be like, you know what, we're done. I can't.
You lost me. Bye bye.
Oh.
I hear you, girl. I hear you. Do you think, and I had this conversation with my husband the other day
Hmm.
over the weekend when we were in camping and it was like the most scariest setting you could think of, right? You're just there and you're just like, do you think there are like, let's just say in the forest and you're camping, does your mind play games on you sometimes, like to where it scares you and there's like literally nothing?
Oh yeah.
Like, have you ever had that moment where you're like, start to think there's something bad out there, and it's like, girl, that was a bird or a squirrel. Like, does your mind play games on you like that? Oh my God, I hate it when that happens to me.
Yeah, I'll tell you the last one because it's hilarious. Just being, we just rearranged our bedroom like a couple months ago, but it used to be that there was like a fan and a lamp in one corner. And the way when I would lay in bed, there's a little bit of light from the living room because I have hydroponic like plants, and so the light would still be on. So there's like a distant, almost like a moonlight. So you can kind of see, but everything's a shadow. And the last time I had one of those experiences was when I was laying in bed getting sleepy and I like looked to my left because I think one of my cats was making noise. So I like, woke up and I saw it was the fan and the lamp combo together. It looked like a man, a tall 6 foot man in a hat. And I was like, oh my God. And I like almost like woke up my husband and then I like my eyes settled for a minute and I was like, damn it, it's the lamp and the fan. Like, oh, I felt so dumb. But my
You're like,
heart,
hello. You're like, that didn't happen. We're just gonna pretend that that did not happen.
dude, my heart dropped through my chest. I felt physically sick. You know when you like get scared, like I felt like I was gonna
Yes.
throw up, and then I was like, lamp, man.
I'm telling you, it's always for me, again, in situations where like things could happen. And when you're camping and it's dark and everyone else around you is asleep, and for some reason you can't sleep, so your mind's just wondering. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I hear something or I hear that. And I'm like, babe, babe. And he's just like, what? I'm like, there's something out there. And I'm like, he's like, well, what if it's a bear? Like, I can't go out there. So then he's tripping. Now we're both tripping. And I'm like, all right, it's gone. And then, and then my husband falls asleep in like 3.2 seconds.
Oh,
So I'm still just awake
hmm.
and scared. And I somehow exhaust myself. And then I wake up the next morning and there was nothing there. But I really think that your mind can really play some games, some tricks on you. Like if your mind believed that that was a man in a hat, your brain said, be scared.
Oh,
And
for
you were
sure.
scared. You know what
That's
I'm
why
saying?
That's why I always tell people, like, I always am sure to say, like, I don't think that most people are, I would never say, oh, you imagined it, because it's not that people are, like, making up some fantastical idea in their head. It's that they really thought they saw. So I think people have become a little bit better, like, even like policemen or detectives, like, they
Totally.
I've noticed they've become better just when I've watched, like, the real life crime stuff or whatever, at
Totally.
instead of saying like, well, obviously like you had a bad dream or whatever, they say stuff like, okay, so I believe that you saw that. Those are very tactful words. It's like,
That's a very tactful way of saying it.
believe that you saw it. I'm not saying you didn't see it, but the explanation around it, I don't know. Like this person could have taken a lot of medication that night or drank with their medication and had a vision. They could have really seen some shit. I don't know, but
Does that go hand in hand with like if you saw a ghost, did you really see it?
yeah. I don't know. We can't prove it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
We really cannot. And that's kind of what sucks when you try to explain something to someone and you're like, I saw that. And then they're like, I believe you, but, and you're like,
They're like, it's irrelevant for me because I can't see what you saw. No, it's same with premonitions. Like, I'm like, there's no way to explain it. And I'm telling you, I saw it happen before it happened. There's no way that you can explain that. You can't disprove it, but you didn't see it. So to you, you're like, okay, that's really interesting, but what do I do with that information,
I feel like that's like every question to everything we talk about. Like, did we see a UFO? Did we see a satellite? Was that SpaceX? Or did I just, did
Yeah.
I see, you know what I'm saying? Did I really see a ghost? Or was I like in between this sleeping and awake state where I thought I saw something? Like everything has a question. Everything is like, but did you know what I'm saying? Unless it was like a real life situation, like in these movies, like Hills Have Eyes, and you took a wrong road and then you died, or that person died. Like, I feel like that's just kind of different. But when it comes to, spirits or demons or anything like that,
Mhm.
or aliens, or people have seen mermaids in the ocean, like,
Yeah.
there's always a question of, really, did you see it?
We'll never know.
You'll never know.
We'll never.
And that's kind of what's scary, though, is if we don't know, the unknown is scary.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? And while it's scary, it's also so interesting to me. I'd love to figure out how to talk to spirits.
Yeah.
I would love to have a conversation with a spirit, whether it be like a 2-second conversation or like, a 10-minute conversation. I just tell me something so I can tell that person.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those people that can they don't speak to them per se, but they're like I forget his name, that one. I don't even know if you call it a psychic or whatever. He sits there and he like talks, he can hear or he can see visions or something. And he's like on his notepad and he's just making drawings. Tyler Henry,
Yeah, I love
you know
Tyler.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's real or not. I don't, you know what? My question is like, he's only sees celebrities, whether he's super expensive, but why not have a normal person? Like, let me be on there and I'll be your, I'll tell you if you're real or not. It's like
Yeah.
nothing but celebrities
Yeah, that's my mom said the same thing. She the other one was like the Long Island psychic, with the big hair. I don't know
with
if
the huge hair. She's OG.
she's an OG. We don't know because same thing. It's always like when it's like a TV show setting. You're like, I know firsthand that like being around some of that stuff that like almost 99% of all TV is completely fake or at least mostly fake. So it's really hard to like just see them on TV and be like, did that celebrity just get paid? Like
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, can we get some like I want like a wholesome show where if you're gonna have someone like that, bring in like real people.
yeah,
Like, and I'm not saying they're not real, like they're real, but they're celebrities. Like, even again, even if it costs $10,000 to talk to Tyler or whoever, whatever his name is, like, if like a person, your neighbor can afford to go see him to be able to, have messages from their loved ones who died, let's do that. I
yeah.
just want more real, again, more realistic shit versus stuff where you're like, what am I watching? A Disney movie? Like, or what's happening here? Like, can we get some more realness to these theories of ghosts and aliens and vampires? Like, I just would like more realness of these things, but it's all mythical. It's all,
We don't know.
we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. Like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to do like, well, we're gonna keep doing more episodes. We have so much more to like. My brain is already like, oh, we can talk about this. We can talk about this, and I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay, we're taking our time. We should do we should talk about more mythical stuff like the unicorns, the mermaids. Maybe we could look at like
Ooh,
stories and legends and sightings, and I could look up like pictures and footage, and we can say
no,
whether
really.
whether we think it's real or not, how
Come
real.
with like facts, like, or of like this and that. Ooh, that would be really fun. If you want to continue this with me, I love this stuff. I could go forever. Like, you are like the only person that's like willing to sit here and actually listen to my craziness because my husband's like, I love you, but mermaids aren't real. There are no ghosts. I'm
Yeah,
like,
no,
boy, bye.
Caesar is like he's definitely like open. Like he's like not saying that anything's not real. He does not like it freaks him out. Like I'm totally putting him on blast right now. He gets freaked out by it, so he doesn't want anything to do with it. I made him. I didn't make him, but I dragged him along to the haunted museum here in Vegas, which has like haunted objects and stuff, and he was not excited to go. He really didn't want to go. He went for me because I was like, oh, it's like Ghost Adventures, like it's just more so for like tourism type of shit. But
Or
he did not have a good time. He was very like
he
uncomfortable.
was like, I
He
can already see his face. He's already got like that resting, like, you don't know what I'm thinking face, you know? So.
He was
Have you ever
not.
seen him? Like when he walks around, you don't know whether he's happy, sad, mad, or excited. He's just kind of like very like that's just like his resting bitch face, if you will. Like
Yes, when my family's very loud and obnoxious and like overly like extroverted. So when he first, poor guy, when he first started coming around, I have two older sisters, I've got aunties, like there's a lot of strong women in my family and we're loud. And at first they were like, "What's this guy's deal? Like, what's wrong with him?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
like, because he's so quiet and
That's me. That's me. Yeah, I feel like it just runs in the family. Like you don't know what I'm very just like and it's like they're like, what's her deal? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like nothing. I was just staring into space. Like that's just what it is. Like it's nothing personal. Like that's just what it is.
no, but we no, we'll definitely do a ton more.
I love that.
Yeah, we'll come up with some other ideas. Shoot me any ideas if you have them. But everybody who's watching, please also leave comments on what you want to see, topics that come to your mind, things you want us to watch or check out, and we'll do this again for sure. It was so fun.
Absolutely. I would love to see things that like people are like, ooh, watch this one. This will trip you out. I would love to see that.
Oh yeah.
I'm here for it.
All
Yay!
right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna go charge my computer and eat lunch because I'm starving. Um,
Same.
have a good rest of your week.
Okay, babe. Have a good day.
All right. Take care.